What is going on, guys? Welcome back for another Sorare video on the channel. And as you can probably tell by the thumbnail and the title, I have been a busy boy over the past week or so during the international break, when usually the site is a little quieter than usual. However, obviously due to the missions, I think more people have been logging on, bidding for auctions, and there's just a massive hype at the moment around Sorare, and I am fully involved in that hype. So on this video, I'm just going to kind of guide you over of some of the purchases I've made since the last 4 days, including limited and rare. If you do follow the channel right now, you'll know I've been looking into getting into rare in season challenges. So more on that in a moment in time. Then what I'll do towards the end of the video is go through a few of my potential lineups I can put in the in-season, limited and rare for the weekend upcoming when club football is back. And then what I plan to do as well is a video on my spreadsheet. So this is my contender sheet at the moment, as you can see. My head's blocking a little bit here, but the streaks are behind my head. The players that I purchased are down here. Again, you just about can't see the purchase. And it kind of is basically all the money that I've spent, the streaks, any kind of cash for challenge here, for example, I've won in the leaderboards, and basically it just gives me my team overview and an overview of my accountancy. So more on all these tabs in my future video. Well, kind of go over the Premier League, Challenger, Contender. I'll do that towards the end of this week, so during the first international break, and then the next one, I believe there's an international break in October, unfortunately. So I'll get them videos out hopefully towards the end of the week. Now, of course, we've got the shiny cards, the event out tomorrow, revealing all these cards on Tuesday, the 9th of September. So I plan to do a video around all of my cards that I purchased over the past couple of months or so to see how many special edition cards we get tomorrow being Tuesday. So I'm not going to go through every single player and kind of pronounce all the names. I'll kind of briefly talk about a few, starting with the Saint Etienne stack. So I'm actually going to filter this out by contenders. So I kind of looked at the limited market, and there's some areas which were very cheap, and one of those were contender in just my opinion. So starting off with the Saint Etienne stack, we've got a midfielder, 2 defenders, and the goalkeeper. So I did a bit of research in the Spanish second division and the French second division. And yeah, Saint Etienne and Reims, of course, the two big boys in there. So hence why I've gone for a bit of a stack at the moment. They have got a forward, Saint Etienne, that I'm looking at potentially at buying as well, or going a bit of a differential like Andreas Martin here. We'll talk about in a moment in time. So I've gone quite heavy in contender already. As you can see from the other cards down here, a few down here, including the second division in the Bundesliga and also from the Croatian League as well. And I kind of touched on that as well, include defensive stat for Bochum, Horn, and Wittek. So yeah, I kind of really have strengthened up just because some of these prices, to be honest, 14, 21, £4. And as I mentioned before, I absolutely love this limited market. It's so liquid. The prices obviously change every single day, but I do enjoy that. And obviously the rare market at the moment, you could buy a player for one day for £100. 2 weeks later, they're worth 50. And obviously that is kind of dependent on performance as well, etc. Obviously it can increase, but limited for me at the moment is obviously a great entry point. And I don't care, in one sense, if my card doubles in value, halves in value. I'm content with what I've paid for these cards, and they're just with me now until the end of the season. That's kind of how I plan to view these limited cards. We've also brought, as mentioned, Martin from Racing Sporting. I do apologise if you support this team. That's not who he plays for right now. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm sure it's sport racing or some sort of team in the Spanish second division. But usually he didn't. He played last night, I believe, got a 45, one of the worst scores obviously since I brought him. But he does get some really decent scores, and he kind of goes in as a classic player along with these guys. So as I mentioned, I'm not going to talk about every single card. Give you a brief overview, and we'll kind of jump over to the lineups in a moment in time. Next up is Challenger. I don't think I've done too much here, if anything, to be honest. No, just got a kind of a couple collection pieces for Celtic and maybe a couple other teams as well in the vault, perhaps. Yeah, they're Stuttgart cards, sorry. So yeah, to be fair, I was quite content on Challenge. We had 3 teams for the in-season team. So it's absolutely fine with that. And as you can probably see, the main one being the Jupiler Pro League. If we go on to league competitions again and just filter this out by the Belgium Jupiler Pro League, you can see here over the past 4 days, I've gone out and purchased 2 teams. So we've got 2 classic cards, a goalkeeper, and a midfielder, obviously Vanaken being one of the best players in the division. And we've kind of surrounded those 2 with some very, very top talent in the Belgium League. Probably the best players you can get. That's how I plan to play Sorare, as I mentioned a few times in my previous videos. The likes of Brandon Michele, for example, Burgess, Rob Scoofs or Scoffs, has just been transferred to Union Saint Gilles. Of course, the legend, the man, the myth, Junior Ito. I could not go a season, especially when he's back at Genk. I could not buy him, if that makes sense. So we've kind of got a decent 2-man team in here. And yeah, again, the prices look too good. And I probably should have purchased these cards 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks ago now. They have stayed more or less the same value. If we just look at Michele as an example, let's hope this is a good example. We'll soon find out. If we go to the last month, he obviously might have come down a little bit. So he's £48. He dropped down here. So this is 15th of August, £38, £37. As low as about 30, 27, £28. And I'm buying now for 40, £45. So really, looking back, I mean, right at the start of the season, 16th of August, that's when I should be kind of buying these guys of all this utility. But lessons learned, he could have come down. Obviously, things might have happened, but I'm in now. And that's just one of those unfortunate things that I didn't get in any earlier. So I've gone for the Jupiler Pro League as well. Again, I'll show these teams a moment in time. We've also topped up on the French cards, as you can see here. Hoiberg. One of the big ones is Tyler Morton, who had a bit of scouting on, and his scores, I mean, they aren't amazing. So he played 3 games, but decent AA score, especially in this game right here. Get Met probably, yeah. 30 all-round score, 20 all-round score against a decent Marseille outfit, and then away from home against Lens, who are no pushovers in that league from a couple of seasons ago anyway. Only 11.9, but I believe it's in all set pieces, i.e. corners. Obviously not penalty, but definitely corners. I think take some free kicks as well. So he looked a pretty decent kind of buy. And we've also topped up, on a Bundesliga collection. Well, I say collection in a couple of players. Joel Kwanzaa is in the building. The defender I purchased last time has now gone to Arsenal in Akampe. Where the hell is he? In this right here. So he's obviously gone to Arsenal now. So Kwanzaa comes in as his replacement. I just felt like I needed one better forward. I had Bakayoko and Grassi. So we decided to buy Luis Diaz from Bayern Munich. Spend the bucks. He had a pretty good start to the season. Only 2 games in the Bundesliga. But he should be fairly decent. Obviously, Kane was probably a bit too much in terms of value. So he comes into the team as well. And as I mentioned, a few League earned players in the French League. And we've topped up as well on an Arsenal collection, getting Kepa and Brumo as well for Man United. We do need another forward. We are planning to make another team potentially in the Prem in a couple of weeks' time, but with Saka being injured at the moment, Mbrumo comes in as that forward card. So, as I mentioned, I thought I was not recording there for a second. As I mentioned, just going to kind of go over a few of the teams. Start off in contender. As I mentioned, we should hopefully. I keep saying as I mentioned. But as I did mention, we should have 4 teams now in contender, and they all should be looking fairly decent. So we'll put the full stack in. I say full stack. It is just the 4 players. Like so, 2 defenders. So ideally, obviously, a clean sheet is key in this lineup, and then we can put in Martin in here. A bit of a differential in this team. Obviously, I'm sure people will run a 5-man Saint Etienne stack. The team 2, again, this is not. I'm not looking at fixtures here, by the way. I'm just putting in play, just plugging them in, just so you get a bit of an idea of the teams that I'm running. And if you have any kind of opinions or anything that I need to buy a certain player to fit in a team, that makes sense, please do let me know in the comment section. And for the extra here, was put Shaqiri in. So defensive stat there from Dynamo. Here for Blin, I think not an attacking stat, but a midfield and a forward. And then a Shaqiri classic card coming in as captain. Again, as I keep mentioning, ignoring the fixtures, this is just pure players that I've got for the weekend. A Bochum defensive stack. We're lacking potentially another in-season midfielder, but this is good practice to do. And then for the classic again, we have got some rare cards, which I don't mind using, especially for the in-season streaks. But we'll just go for Wesley in here for a classic card at the moment. And I also got Sasaki defender card in season, but at the moment in time, and for next game week especially, he does not have a game, so we can't put him in this team. And this is where it's a bit tricky. So I perhaps need at least one more in-season card here. So that's kind of my options for the extra spots. Yeah, we probably do need one. This Farhat here, I think he's ruled out for another few months. He got injured in the last game. Yeah, perhaps one. Well, definitely one extra in here for an in-season card. We'll just do this for the time being. I mean, we've got Depay in here as well, but yeah, definitely at least one more in-season contender card. This is kind of good practice. If you guys don't do this already, I'd recommend doing this. Just putting some lamps in, ignoring the fixtures, but get a bit of an idea of how the teams look. I won't do Challenger because not a lot's changed from there. We'll just move on to the Jupiler Pro League in Limited. And again, as I keep mentioning, we are just ignoring fixtures. So a bit of a stack for St. Gallen. So obviously Rob Scoffs now has gone over there. We'll put him up front. And then we'll put this guy in here. So a 4-man St. Gallen stack. I'm not quite sure if Rob Scoffs will start straight away. And again, a bit of a differential here. Not going for the full 5-man stack is absolutely fine. And even sometimes like a 2-man and get that bonus in. I'm not afraid of doing that. It's kind of splitting the guys up as well. And then, of course, for this team, we have to split Vanaken and the other goalkeeper up as well, of course. And again here, perhaps, do we need another extra card? No, we don't. We have this guy here who has started this season off really, really well, by the way. Some really nice scores. Misulu, if I butcher that name. And that seems pretty strong as well. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that team actually for maybe for the weekend. Yeah, so that there goes the 2 Belgium teams. Moving on to the French league now. We've got a couple of teams in here, as I mentioned. So we've got the Nice, and I think we've got a Marseille defense stack. Yes, we do. A couple of Marseille players. We've got Heusberg as well, who we're going to leave out at the moment just because I want to try and get the bonus. So Kamara, who takes some set pieces, Monaco, we'll stick him in here. Now, this is the issue here now. So Fofana is a calf injury. Hope that's not right. No, he played last night, so hopefully you didn't get injured last night. He come on, so we'll stick him in this one, and then we'll probably go for Morton in midfield. The two kind of Leon Hope Matt link up. We'll captain for Farner. Again, maybe on fixtures I might get the full Højbjerg, Kvaratskhelia, for example, PSG. In fact, I'm going to change it up a little bit, actually. I did say I wasn't going to do fixtures, but here we are. We'll put Kenny Lala in there. Why not? Yeah, so we're getting a 2% multi-club bonus without putting Højbjerg in this team. And then for the second French team, we've got Diouf in goal. Marquinhos is a bit of a risk at the moment. Obviously, they signed a couple of defenders this summer, at least one defender this summer. So he's a slight risk. And this is how the team is looking for the other other kind of free outfielders. So yeah, kind of a bit of a link up between Leon boys. I've got a defense stack of Marseille plus a midfield if needs be. Again, maybe lacking one more extra just in case Marquinhos, you know he's going to get rested for one game. Perhaps I can move Lala back in here as defender, and then a classic rare Cabal who's been on absolute fire this season, stepping up in the French first team. So not all doom and gloom there, to be honest. I think I'm quite happy with those two lineups. And then finally, just to kind of show you the Bundesliga teams, we've got a defensive stack for Stuttgart and also Leverkusen. So we'll do the Stuttgart defensive stack first of all with Nubel and Mittelstadt. We've got Kimmich and Elise. At the moment, I mean, I've always been Kimmich's #1 fan. At the moment, I'm probably going to pick Elise, my best team, starting from now. Then we've got Diaz in this team. We've also got Grassi in this team as well, potentially. But we're kind of lacking forward options. So we'll probably put someone like we can put Stiller in here, but that loses a bonus. So we'll go for Amiri in here. We'll captain of Elise, of course. And again, that looks pretty strong for a Bundesliga setup. And then for the second team, Team B, we've got Flecken in goal. Obviously, Leverkusen now with potentially a new manager. So not quite sure how they're going to play. Maybe go back to a back two. They obviously brought Bade, I butchered that name, from Sevilla. You've also got Kwanzaa. They've got Tapsoba. So here's a slight risk when I brought him, but we'll soon see how that plays out. Obviously, Kimmich, Grassi, and then for the other in-season spot, we can either go Tapsoba, Bakayoko, or Stiller. I'll probably stick Stiller in here, or Captain Kimmich, of course. And that is the two Bundesliga laps. So I'm fairly set. Of course, I've got the Challenger and Premier League teams as well, which you've probably already seen. And then finally, the big boys, the big kind of reveal here is my rare cards. What I've been doing in the last few days for rare. If I see at the bottom here, I'm trying to buy Huysmans, I guess I say his name, from Sporting midfielder. So that kind of gives it away as well. But most recently, I've won from 3 players to the Portugal League, and then obviously Jack Butland for Rangers. And call me stupid if you want, I won't blame you. I've gone for a Rangers defensive stack after a terrible start to the season. Russell Martin and Rangers have been absolutely shocking. I'm backing him. I don't ask why. I've won Butland. I've just gone out and brought Suter. I've also brought Cameron Devlin, who I have as a limited in-season card. Been pretty decent this season. Again, sort of a guy who's hopefully getting your 50s, 60s each game consistently. Not a captain material guy, but you can put in there and hopefully just rack up the points. Kind of similar sort of story to this guy right here as well. Hopefully in the 50s and 60s, kind of pull me over for the streaks. And we've also brought a couple other guys. So Porto recently signed Kivior from Arsenal, who might play left back for them. So hopefully you can get some decent scores for them. The most recent yesterday, we purchased Leroy Sané from Galatasaray. There's loads of options. I mean, if we just move across to the market here, for Challenger forwards. There was a few from Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, of course. The idea was to get a player from either Scotland, Turkish league, so basically avoiding Austrian and the Danish league, just because you have massive breaks during the season. And if you filter this out by wrong thing, by forward cards, by highest price, this is, by the way, obviously Osterman would be, the best card to get in here. If I change this to rare price, of course, this is just instant buy, so these prices are a lot more higher than usual. We own a Trincao. The other players at the top here haven't really done it this season for me so far. I've watched a couple of Celtic games. Just haven't been too impressive in attack. This Suarez guy looks decent for Sporting. The only issue is AA isn't amazing, but he will get decisive for sure. Hence why I've gone for Sorare. I mean, there is a few other shouts here as well. Asensio is another great one. I just think Fenerbahce, I think he will definitely start most games. There's just more of a risk of a rotation at gun. Even Duran's in there as well. Plenty of forwards to choose from. I just think Sorare, a big name player, going to Galatasaray, should start most game weeks, including Champions League games and also league games as well, but maybe off the bench for the last half an hour, 20 minutes, and still potentially get decisive when the defenders in the other team might be tiring out a little bit more. So that was the thinking behind Sorare. I'm just one player away, as you can see, from completing that rare team. So hopefully by the time Game Week 9 rolls around, I will have 2 Challenger in-season rare teams competing. So if we filter this out by rare, again, I have to keep in mind I'm just one midfield short at the moment. Got the Rangers defensive stack. Again, I can't believe myself I'm doing this, but here we go. Got Devlin in midfield. Again, obviously, we're one midfield short at the moment. And then let's just say, for example, we throw Trincao in this lineup. The only kind of downside to this is that we can't play Trincao and Son in the same team. What we can do is use a classic card, of course, as well. So on this occasion, we could maybe put the Celtic and Rangers cards together. Why the hell not? And we can captain Cotter Vickers in this lineup. And then for the second team, again, just keep in mind, I'm still lacking one midfielder. So we're just going to put a super rare in here for the moment. But this will be an in-season rare, hopefully, very shortly. If we just put these two guys again, no defensive stat there, but they should still do okay. Then we've got Sorare, and then we've got Victor Osimhen as a Galatasaray attacking force. Again, as I keep mentioning, the in-season midfielder card will go in here once purchased. So I feel like that's quite strong as well, quite decent. We'll soon find out. And yeah, just going back to the spreadsheet, I've literally spent £291 so far in that rare team. If I move this across very slightly, we just need one more player to fill the gap. So hopefully maybe £110. So altogether £400. Obviously with one Trincao and Hornick. So we're looking pretty decent, hopefully, for hitting some streaks and potentially some leaderboard prizes moving forward. But yeah, what I plan to do in a future video is to kind of show off these spreadsheets a bit more detail. And what I'll try and do is create a saved version of these spreadsheets and be completely blank, so you guys can download the spreadsheet if you want to moving forward. If you absolutely want to. I'll try and do a video hopefully tomorrow on the shiny new cards that come out released by Sorare, and see how many special edition cards I do have moving forward. And as I mentioned, I'll try and do another video later on in the week showcasing these spreadsheets and how much I made so far during the first 2 or 3 game weeks in this new in-season Sorare 26 plan. But that is it for me on the video, guys. If you haven't joined Sorare just yet, make sure to join via the link in the description. As always, if you have enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and I'll catch you on the next one.